thousands of them. This is from 1992. So this is talking about the differences between organic and garbage vitamin E. And it's breaking it down. This is, you can read the abstract here. I've actually read the whole study. Basically, what they find is that synthetic vitamin E, as I mentioned, causes birth defects and messes up the endocrine system. And this is what we've been knowingly put into vitamins for so long. And this is the petroleum-based form. And then that's the reason I had to write this story that's up on Infowars.com right now on the featured box, How Vitamin Studies Deceive the Public into Big Pharma Profits. Now, this is really a deceptive, disgusting trick to say that vitamins are killing you without telling you what it is, as we've discussed. So what it comes down to, in my opinion, is that they are losing the battle. Big Pharma is losing the battle. Monsanto is losing the battle. And that ties into another report about how they're actually using trolls to attack us. Because it's now been confirmed by a Monsanto employee, nonetheless, that Monsanto has an entire department meant to ridicule and discredit scientists and others who actually would go ahead and say that GMOs are unsafe and that Roundup is bad for you. So what that means is they have an army of trolls. And for those who are not aware, an internet troll is someone that just causes problems and stirs up BS for no reason with no actual basis and doesn't want to argue the facts. It's someone that you've all seen them on the comments on Facebook or on InfoWars or wherever, where they're stirring up trouble for no real reason. We've known they existed for a long time. The government does it. But now a Monsanto employee in an investors meeting publicly stated, not knowing that this was open to the public, that there was an entire department, because everyone's freaking out. The World Health Organization saying Roundup is bad for you and it's causing cancer. They were all freaking out saying, what are we going to do about this? And he said, rest assured, my friends, we have an entire department working around the clock to discredit these scientists. Wow. These scientists that care about your health. They have a department to discredit us, and they use BS and slander in attacking us on the comments over and over again.
Well, of course, you look at these studies. I remember when we got those horrific pictures of that study that was done in France, feeding the rats GMO food, and they had these massive tumors all over their body, right? And so then what does the industry do? They run another study, and they say, look, didn't happen with our rats because they ran it for a very, very, very short period of time compared to what the other guys did. Okay, so that's the way they can game it. They can fund any kind of study that they want. They've got the media on their side, as you point out, because pretty much every ad that you hear anymore is an ad for the pharmaceutical companies or for Monsanto. I remember years ago when we used to go to used to live in Florida. We used to go to Disney World pretty often, and Epcot, of course, the food exhibit, the land. Well, it was all sponsored by Monsanto. You know, they had hydroponic gardens, and they were showing how science was going to feed the world and everything. What they weren't telling you about was the glyphosates, the GMOs, and all this sort of thing. But they hung out there. It's a massive, massive PR campaign.
Well, it reminds me of the town of Nitro that received $90 million because of the mass poisoning through Agent Orange and the creation of all of that with Monsanto. And it's just like, imagine, it's almost like Idiocracy, where Monsanto is just trying to prop itself up as some great corporation. They should just take all the money they spend on marketing and use it for something else. I mean, no one's buying it. They've been voted the worst company in the world over and over and over again. We've launched press releases declaring them the worst company in the world. Everyone totally agrees that their reign is over, and that's why they have these trolls. And on the flip side, Big Pharma is making more money now than ever. This was the record year, even bigger than 2013, which was considered the pharmaceutical boom for a lot of people because, of course, Obamacare and all the deception on that. But specifically now, Big Pharma is now becoming the new Monsanto. They're launching these attacks on vitamins to keep people away from them, to think that their paradigm, their old health paradigm of pharmaceutical intervention is still the only way to live. When we all know, everyone listening knows, that's total not true. And they go to vitamins and they find, oh my God, it's actually changing me. Oh my God, when I take these things, I'm actually having a difference. I'm actually feeling better. And they simply can't have that. So what they say is it's a placebo. It's a mental effect. Because if they can psychologically get your mind, then they can get your physical body, and they can get your wallet, and they can get your paycheck. That's the whole system. If they can make you think that you're a quack. See, they make you disbelieve that things are happening. I mean, we've had people...
It's just a conspiracy theory.
It's just a conspiracy theory.
It's just a conspiracy theory that they're creating petroleum-based vitamins. I didn't know that about vitamin E. I knew that there were artificial sweeteners they wanted to avoid because they were petroleum-based. It just amazes me that they would feed us petroleum. I mean, this is beyond Soylent Green. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with Anthony Gucciardi of Natural Society.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution liquid in regular and extra strength. Our silver soap, made with all natural organic ingredients, leaves your skin clean and refreshed. Call 844-USE-SILVER for your free catalog. 844-USE-SILVER. Or go to onesilversolution.com. Onesilversolution.com. There is only one silver solution.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones. When I got on air 20 years ago, I weighed 180 pounds. I lift weights 5 days a week. I could swim 2-3 miles. Then I discovered the New World Order, the globalists, their agenda. I started an Access television show. I was so dedicated to my work and hanging around with radio guys that I began drinking. I began smoking cigars and then even cigarettes. I transformed from looking like a white Bruce Lee to looking like a Jabba the Hutt. So I began a journey 5 years ago to shed the almost 100 pounds. I started taking Super Male Vitality and saw dramatic results in just a few weeks. When I added to the mix the key products developed by Dr. Group for InfoWarsLife.com, the results were incredible. Take the InfoWarsLife.com challenge today at InfoWarsLife.com or give our crew a call. They can answer all your questions or tell you about any of the specials at 888-253-3139.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you can consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we have with us Anthony Gucciardi from Natural Society. We've just been talking about the ways that big pharmaceutical companies as well as big agra is deceiving us and lying to us, but we're getting some victories. I think they're getting the message that people really want cleaner food. This article from Mercola says that Coke and Pepsi are now going to remove flame retardant chemical from their products. Isn't that nice? We can now have that without drinking flame retardants, just like I guess we can get bread from Subway without getting rubber mat chemicals in it. So
you'd think they'd do that in the first place, obviously, just like you would think McDonald's 10, 15 years ago would have started removing the crud from their food, trying to stay competitive. But the good news is that we are forcing them to do all these things. Just like Hershey's, the major chocolate manufacturer, just agreed to remove high fructose corn syrup from the Hershey Kisses and their chocolate products. That's good news. I mean, it shouldn't have been in there in the first place, and then high fructose corn syrup has mercury in it, and it's undoubtedly making us fatter and killing us. But it is good news that these corporations are being forced to change, because after all, they haven't changed in how many decades, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we've been pushing them over and over and over again and receiving victories time and time again. And as far as I understand, Vermont just had a big GMO labeling victory as well, and we're still getting some more intel on that. But over and over again, we seem to have these huge victories with Monsanto losing money, and it just ties back into how we were talking earlier about these companies paying internet trolls. And it reminds me of an article where Coca-Cola was found to pay these health leaders in different incentives, like, oh, we'll give you a free car or whatever it was, in order to say that a healthy snack option was like a little bit of nuts and a small can of Coca-Cola, right? So they were trying to say that Coca-Cola can fit in anyone's healthy diet as long as we have caloric restrictions and blah, 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 which is total garbage, obviously. But they were paying them off to say these things because they are desperate. They won't have to pay people to say these things if it were true.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what they're going to be taking out of this is BVO. That's brominated vegetable oil. They say that it was first patented as a flame retardant, but it's been added to American sodas for decades. And Anthony, this reminds me of what they're doing with this dye, this dye component that was they're getting pushed back in California, and it's been banned in a lot of countries. But of course, Coke and Pepsi for years would continue to put this dangerous dye into their sodas, and the things are brown. I mean, what is it? I mean, it's not like it's some bright color that is going to increase consumption. I mean, it's just to make it brown. How many different dyes do you need to make something brown? And of course, Coke said we're going to take it out, did take it out. Pepsi, not so much. They're going to continue to do it. Yeah, Pepsi is going to continue to put that in. It's like, why is that so important to them? I mean, why do they have to have fire retardants? Why do they have to have dangerous dyes in their products when their products are brown? It's just insane.
Well, having an inside scoop on the supplement industry, talking to some of the biggest manufacturers, in fact, the biggest manufacturers in the world, sourcing products and everything like that, I can tell you why. Because with companies like that, where it comes down to millions or billions of bottles, and not thousands of bottles, 1 cent per bottle matters a lot. I mean, a lot. So if they can save 2 cents a bottle with a chemical that they get from China en masse for less than a penny per bottle, then they're actually going to fight millions and millions of dollars in lobbying fees to get that, because it will save them in the long run. Maybe because they don't think like us, they don't think, well, in a month. They think in 30 years it'll save us $500 million. And we're talking now about companies, even in the pharmaceutical or nutraceutical realm, that are using contaminants from China to fill up their products just so it looks like the capsule is full, and they're spending nothing on it. I mean, it's basically free. It's free money for them. They're selling capsules now that cost like 1 cent at Whole Foods, even for like $5 now, some of these per capsule. That's how serious it's getting. They're marking it up over and over again with total contaminants. And that's what's happening with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They care about the 1 cent per bottle.
And I know that's true of the fast food companies, too. That's why I don't like to, if I'm going to get a hamburger, I want to eat at a local restaurant. They advertise they've got organic burgers or organic meat or whatever. I know that the local people are not going to try to cut corners, like you point out. If they can shave a penny off here or a penny off there, that's big bucks to them. But it's going, the local companies, the local restaurants are not going to do that because they know it's going to hurt their business and it's not going to save them much money. So they have a disincentive financially to do that, whereas the other guys have an incentive to do precisely that. But you're talking about the way that they're pushing back on stuff. And I think one of the important things that happened in this last election, and we talked about it at the time, was that in Hawaii, there were organic farmers there that shut down the growing of Monsanto's GMO products there. They did that in the election. And that's been far more effective than trying to get the labeling through, is to shut it down at the source. But there's an article up on Infowars.com today that now a federal judge is going in. It looks like they're going to overturn the desires of the voters and the farmers.
Well, of course they are. I mean, at the end of the day, also, the Supreme Court even has a Monsanto justice on the bench.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much, Anthony Gucciardi, Natural Society. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
We're on the